their ribeye steak. Look at that. A knife is in the works. Alright, welcome to Corporals Corner. Today we're going to do something different. All my videos are solo overnighters, I mean I'm by myself. So I'm going to show you a solo overnighter, but meant for a group setting. Some people go out in groups, some don't. However, today we're going to do a group shelter. Let's get to it. Over the years I've been asked the question several times, well, you show solo overnighters. What if you got a group? What if you got 2, 3, 4, 5 people? What do you do? And I never gave it much thought because what I show you for a solo overnight, the gear that I carry, and the shelter configurations I come up with, in my mind, a group setting, you just increase it or multiply that. If I'm going to do this for me, they can do it for them. Simple, okay? But what if you want to combine the resources to create a larger shelter that's heated? I mean, we're moving into wintertime now. Today we got a high of like maybe 41, 42. Tonight, low 30s. You might want to fire inside those shelters. How do you safely do that without burning your tarps up, without having multiple fires all over the landscape? So today we're going to focus on that. Still lightweight tarp systems, 5x7 or 6x8, and we're going to make it happen. Now for me, when I walk up in an area, something like this, I see 2 trees, one here and one there. That's perfect. My tarps are 6x8. That's about 8 foot across. We're in business. So I'm thinking a double lean-to. One on this side, one on that side, fire down the middle. We got these 6x8, 5 mil thickness yard tarps over at Menards for around $4.50 a pop. So once again, to come out here and have a good overnighter, have a good time, you don't need expensive gear. You need stuff that works. And we're talking an emergency. You're caught with your pants down. You have a group of people, 2 to 4 people. All of them have the same type of gear or similar gear. You can get her done. All right, so we're dealing with 6x8 tarps, meaning 8 feet in length. We're on the inside of these 2 trees. Let's check her out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5, and that's perfect. Now I've shown this several times, and it's the direction that I'm going now with my channel. There's no need for these overcomplicated, complex, convoluted ridge lines that are all over YouTube. Coring holes or boring holes and toggles, and using ones that are toggle-less because you might not have a toggle, but you're tying it around a tree. If you're tying it around a tree, you're always going to have a toggle because there's always branches everywhere on the ground or a simple breaking a limb off. So we're going to take a piece of bank line, go around the tree, back through our grommets, and I'll show you how to make that thing tight. Taking our bank line, we're going to do an overhand loop. So what we're going to do is make a small bite right here, go around itself, and then back through the opening. Simple, one and done, no complex knots or bollins. It's all you need. You're going to hang a tarp. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So now taking our loop, all we're going to do is we're going to go around our tree, and we're going to take our other end, and we're going to pass a small piece through there. It's going to form a pocket. Like I already mentioned, we're tying around a tree, so you're always going to have access to a stick. I found this one on the ground, put it through that pocket, pull it tight, and cinch it down. And then picking this stick off the ground because we're tying it to a tree, all we're going to do is place that toggle inside there, and then we're going to pull it tight. On large tarps like this that are a little bit heavier, I'll just simply feed it through. This will guarantee that the tarp stays tight against that ridge line. doesn't sag. You've seen a lot of pictures of tarps sagging down at the corners or sagging down at the center. It's because they're being pulled away from the ridge line. And for me, that's not going to be a good thing. I'm going to keep feeding it through until we get to the last one, and then we'll shove a bite through just like we did over here and land the toggle inside. Tarp will not slip back on itself. And like I mentioned, there's no sag now in that tarp. It's 100% on that ridge line. It's locked off right here. As long as there's tension on this, it's not going to go anywhere. And now we're going to tie an improvised trucker's hitch around this tree and be one and done. So now right here, all we're going to do is I'm going to twist my line towards my tree. Then I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to pull a piece through. That creates a small loop. And then we're going to pass our line through our loop and pull it towards the tree. And the tighter you pull it, the tighter your ridge line is going to be. So normally I would stake this thing out and we'd be done. But since we're dealing with a double lean-to like this, I'm going to hang the other wall, then we'll stake them both out. This way we can adjust. What this shelter does allow for is some type of Dakota fire hole or long fire right here. Nothing crazy. The flames don't need to be up here. Just a nice bed of coals to pump that heat off the walls onto the people sleeping underneath here. And think of it like this. If 4 people are underneath here and you've only used 2 tarps, you got 2 more. One for a back wall or one in an A-frame configuration over the top, hovering above these walls. That way the smoke can still go up and vent out. So there's quite a few opportunities with people with multiple gear, multiple shelters, multiple of the same items. So just because you go light and you have your 5x7 tarp, you have all your stuff you need for a solo overnighter, and you're with 2, 3, or 4, or 5 people, why can't you combine the gear and do the exact same thing you would do for yourself, but on a larger scale? So one thing that's overlooked in a lot of videos is axe safety, including my own. We have a pack axe. It's about 18 inches. Fingertip to elbow is about 18 to 19 inches in length. You never want to stand up and just start swinging away, because if you miss, you're going to come down into your leg or your shin or your knee. And hitting in those areas, you have arteries, and you're probably going to be done in a matter of minutes. So it's always good to get down on your knees like this over your work. I'll move back, do a couple practice swings, fully extended, and come down and try to make it to where I'm coming down in the center of that anvil, okay, or that stump. So placing a piece of wood on here to practice with. Again, I've already done a couple practice swings here. I'm going to come all the way up and follow all the way through. And it splits in half. So we got the right distance. We can just do it again. Once you have a small piece like this, you have a couple of options. You can go ahead and just hit it and split the pieces off in smaller sections. Just like so. Or if you're lucky, you can get them to stand up, but most of the time at this point, they're too small, so you can just hit it again and break away smaller pieces. Ultimately, you want kindling. And that's the size that you're going for. You get one more here, and just break it away. Now I have smaller pieces I can work with. It's going to be virtually impossible with a small axe like this to try to hit it, so I want to take it off in sections, if possible. So then do it again. And again. I got a nice healthy split. And here we go, their ribeye steak. Look at that. While we're waiting for that steak to get done, we can talk about a few things here. I announced it last week that by the time you're watching this video here, I'll be in Kentucky at the gun show, so it's kind of too late now. However, it's not too late. I announced also that because those that could not attend the gun show, what I was going to do was lower the cost in my Etsy store. So I did that all week. The price you see on there, it says reduced. That is the current reduced price. So check out my Etsy store. That link is inside my description box. Follow me there. We have, as usual, cold handle skillets. We have our Frontier Strikers, forks, meat forks, frog gigs, hat patches, bag patches, universal patches, etc., etc. Another week, I'm going to introduce something new, and I want to make this announcement right here, right now. I was going to hold off on this. I was toying with even doing this, but some things came to my attention last week that I thought, I should be made aware of. So with that, this is America. Everyone should have healthy competition. So Corporals Corner is now going to enter the merchandise game. Yes, logoed merchandise coming soon. So once I get those here, I'll go through them. I'll announce what they are. We'll introduce them 2 or 3 at a time, and then you guys can get after it. It's going to be good. Corporals Corner, logoed merchandise. Stay tuned. More great things to come. Here we go. Once again, Corporals Corner, ribeye steak, cooked inside my shelter. Now somebody's going to say, you're going to have a bear attack. You're going to die in the night. Where I live out on my 100 acres in this area, there's no bear attacks. There's very few bare sidings, if any, so I think I'll be okay. God, that's good. Catch you all in a few. The one experiment I did last year and the year before was just wearing a woolly hoodie like this with some type of thermal underneath. This is a -33 expedition weight thermals. Not in the pants, just the top, with this jacket next to a fire, and you're warm. Put a small blanket over top of you, like say a Helicon Swagmat roll or a poncho liner. As long as you have a fire going in some way to bounce that heat back on you, you're going to stay warm. Just laying right here, I can feel that heat coming up. The smoke's going out like it's supposed to. So I'm happy with this. It's going to be a matter of just feeding that fire throughout the night to keep it small. That way the tarps won't melt, and you should be in business. So on that note, catch you all in the morning. Alright, so let's talk about this shelter real quick. You guys have been after me for years to do a group shelter. So I decided to start, not every time, but every so often, we're going to create a group shelter. Something that I would do if I was with minimum 2 people, up to maybe 4. People say, well, I go out with 10 people. Well, that's a community. That's not a group. And you see what I did here. You could put 2 people there, 2 people here, or 2 people there, 1 person here, 1 person on fire watch, walking around, collecting firewood, things like that. Sitting over here against that tree, monitoring the fire, making sure it's not getting too high while the others sleep. And then you switch off every couple hours. So there's things you can do. It's just making the shelters bigger is basically what it is. But I'll start looking into that and start posting that stuff for you guys. And that way you can see what's possible, especially during the winter months. So something simple like this. We have an open top for the smoke to vent. We have 2 opposing lean-tos. And I'm starting to sweat right now, just laying out here next to this fire. I'm taking this off right now. I'm always carrying some type of woolly hoodie with me or a wool jacket during the winter months. Why? Because that's an extra layer. It can be used in place or in conjunction with a wool blanket or a poncho liner. It could also be rolled up into a pillow. There's plenty of uses. But you'll find in most shelters like this, if they're done properly, the heat is going to bounce around and back on your body, keeping you warm. And a small fire like this will do the trick first time, every time. So I'm happy with the shelter. Something so simple, it's stupid. And it's probably so simple that a lot of people won't even watch. They'll say, he just hung a tarp. I refuse to watch. But if you don't watch, you don't understand exactly what we're talking about and the mechanics behind it, and how something easy like this, just popping a bite through a grommet with a stick, is going to keep that tarp tight. Goes up in a matter of seconds. 2-3 people caught with their pants down in a sudden storm, small fire like this, you'll survive. Something to think about. Now, last thing, midweek videos and tip and trick videos. I failed to mention it last week and most missed. During the week, Tuesday to Wednesday-ish, you're going to get a tip and trick. Worst case, Thursday. Wednesday to Friday, you're going to get a midweek video. I give that gap in there because I'm working in the forge. I'm doing different things, getting ready for events, doing R&D on products. Got a lot of things coming out next year that I'm involved in with a lot of different companies.
Now that I mentioned before, I'll say it again, I'm getting in the merchandise game. You're going to see a lot of personalized gear coming out with my logo on it. And yes, I'm going to announce it right now. A knife is in the works. Again, just laying out here, you're warm. As long as you got somebody monitoring this fire, keeping the flames low, talking about a foot or less, building up that nice trough full of coals. It's going to radiate that heat all night. We're going to vent the smoke, and you'll be a happy camper in a group setting. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.